My name is Siti Nurhaliza. So today I'm going to give you guys a little bit introduction about Tourette syndrome. So this is the introduction. What is Tourette syndrome? Tourette syndrome is a neurological brain condition. The main sign of the Tourette syndrome are motor and vocal tics. Motor tics can be repeated movements such as shoulder shrugs or touching things. Next, vocal tics can include repeated sound, such as throat clearing or making a specific noise. Coprolalia, or saying rude words or swearing, is perhaps the most well-known sign of a TS, but in fact only affects a small number of children with TS. At best, a child or young person will only have some control over his or her tics, while her or she may be able to hold them in for a while. It may be very difficult for them to do this for extended periods of time. That's all, thank you.
The disorder is named after Dr. Georges Gilles de la Tourette, a French pioneer in neurologist who was the first to report of a case of the syndrome back in 1885 in an 86-year-old French noblewoman along with 8 other patients. So Dr. Georges believed that the tic illness was untreatable, chronic, and a progressive hereditary condition. Limited to no progress was made over the next century in explaining or even treating the syndrome. By the 1930s, some medical practitioners were so uncertain about the causes of these tics and involuntary vocalizations that they concluded that each symptom had a separate and unrelated cause. Alternatively, developmental psychologists emphasizing that tics were a common feature of normal childhood called into question the assumptions that tics were evidence of mental or physical illness. Instead, they even viewed the symptoms as a form of early childhood behavior distorted by environmental pressures.
So by now, you guys should probably know what is a Tourette syndrome and what are the history of Tourette syndrome. So what I'm going to explain now is the symptoms of Tourette syndrome. People with Tourette syndrome might probably have both physical tics and vocal tics. Examples for physical tics are blinking, eye rolling, grimacing, shoulder shrugging, jumping, twirling, and touching objects or other people. That is example of physical tics. Whereas for vocal tics, it's more to grunting, throat clearing, whistling, coughing, tongue clicking, animal sounds, and saying random things or random words or phrases, or repeating a sound, a word, or a phrases. And lastly is swearing. But swearing is rare and it only affects only about 1 in 10 people with Tourette syndrome. The most common thing would be tongue clicking, animal sound, whistling. That is one of these 3 is the common tics that I usually see with people who has Tourette syndrome. So those are the symptoms of Tourette syndrome.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I am Jihan and now I am going to talk about treatment for Tourette syndrome. Actually, there is no specific treatment that can cure Tourette syndrome, but it can help to control the tics that interfere with daily activities. So there is 2 ways to control it, which is through medications and therapy. So I'm going to talk about medication first. There are 3 medications that you can take. The first one is medication that can help to block or lessen dopamine. Next, Botox injection, and the third one is ADHD medications. So for the first one, the medication that can block or lessen the dopamine. of the medication is risperidone. It helps to control the tics. However, if Tourette syndrome people took this medication, the side effect is weight gain. Aside from risperidone, there is another medication which is tetrabenazine. However, tetrabenazine can lead to severe depression. The next medication is Botox injection. It can help to relieve simple or focal tics. It will be injected into affected muscle to lessen the tic. The third one is ADHD medication. It is to increase the attention and concentration of Tourette's people. However, it is not suitable for all Tourette syndrome patients as it can exacerbate the tics. Aside from taking medication for Tourette syndrome people, you can help them by doing therapy for them. The first therapy is behavior therapy. It helps to identify the premonitory urge and learn to move in a way that is incompatible for tics. The second one is psychotherapy. This is very suitable for Tourette syndrome patients that are having anxiety and depression about their Tourette syndrome cases. Therapy is deep brain stimulator. It is usually suitable for severe tics. DBS involves in implanting battery-operated medical in the brain. It will deliver electrical stimulant to targeted areas that control the movement. However, in a research on June 2020, University of Nottingham is doing a new case study about Tourette syndrome. They are having a new treatment called median nerve stimulation. It will reduce tic frequency and tic intensity. However, this is still under process and not confirmed yet about the launch of the treatment. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ahmad Ridzuan and I will be presenting you the causes of Tourette syndrome. The exact cause of Tourette's is unknown, but it is well established that both genetic and environmental factors are involved. It is known that Tourette's syndrome is highly heritable. Chemicals in the brain that transmit nerve impulse, or also known as neurotransmitters, including dopamine and serotonin, might play a role. Although it is highly heritable, it is currently not known how. No single gene has been identified, and hundreds of genes are likely involved. Studies show that 50 to 77% of identical twins share a Tourette syndrome diagnosis, while only 10 to 23% of fraternal twins do. But not everyone who inherits the genetic vulnerability will show symptoms. The conditions often associated with Tourette syndrome include attention deficit or hyperactive disorder, ADHD, obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, or autism spectrum disorder, learning disabilities, sleep disorders, depression, anxiety disorder, pain related to tics, especially headaches. And last is anger management problems. Psychosocial or other non-genetic factors which not causing Tourette's can also affect the severity of Tourette syndrome in vulnerable individuals and influence the expression of the inherited genes. These include paternal age, forceps delivery, stress or severe nausea during pregnancy, and use of tobacco, caffeine, or alcohol. Babies who are born premature with low birth weight are also at increased risk. In premature twins, the lower birth weight twin is more likely to develop Tourette syndrome. Some forms of OCD may be genetically linked to Tourette's, although the genetic factors are in OCD with and without tics may differ. The genetic relationship of ADHD to Tourette syndrome, however, has not been fully established, while a genetic link between autism and Tourette's has not been established as of 2017.
Hi, my name is Debby Yoan. Now I'm going to talk about famous people who have Tourette syndrome. One of them is David Beckham. David Beckham is a professional English football player. Second is Howie Mandel. He is a comedian. If you watch America Got Talent, you must know him. He is one of the judges. Third is Jamie Grace. She is a songwriter, singer, and a producer. She has a lovely voice. You must check her out. Four is Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. He is an American basketball player. Last but not least is Billie Eilish. She is an American singer and songwriter. You must know her. Her song is very popular. Maybe some of you guys don't know that they have Tourette syndrome because they don't show the tics in front of the public. But the fact they do. They do admit that they have a Tourette syndrome. Maybe they just don't show the tics in front of the public because they go to doctor to reduce it, or they have some kind of therapies that reduce their tics and they just don't show on the camera. But here I will show you a video of Billie Eilish that show her tic and caught on camera.
Take me back to the beginning just a little bit. You grew up in LA.
Okay, sorry, I just got attacked by fucking flies.
Yeah, we got in the other day. She recorded that whole interview too.
That was a funny interview.
It was
funny.
Yeah,
did you even show up?
You didn't.
Why did you pay the money?
Come on.
These celebrities are the evidence that everyone could achieve their goals no matter who you are, as long as you keep your spirit high. Lastly, I will show you a video of a stand-up comedian that have a Tourette syndrome, but he made that as a uniqueness of himself. I really love his comedy and his spirit, so enjoy the video.
Good evening. What's your name?
My name is Samuel J. Comro. I'm a stand-up comedian.
Oh, wow. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing comedy for 10 years now.
Do you do it full time?
Yeah, do it full time.
Okay. Are you nervous?
No, I have Tourette syndrome, so I twitch a lot. I blink real fast. My head flops around. If you see that, it's kind of cute.
It is!
Thank you.
All right. Well, you know what? It's scary enough doing whatever you do to hit that X, and I just want the best for you. I really do.
Thanks so much.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So like I said, I have Tourette syndrome. It's while my head flops around. I blink real fast. It's weird. It always looks like I'm trying to tell you a secret. This twitch gets me in trouble. My roommate came home from work. I was like, "Doe, our neighbor died." He said, "Did you kill him?" I was like, "Nah." Yo, this is a true story. When I was 10 years old, my parents sent me to Tourette's camp. Yeah, that's where the joke should end. It's a real place, and I didn't realize it till this moment, but I found out that when other people twitch, it makes me twitch more. So on the first day, they put us in a circle with 100 kids. The kid next to me did a shoulder roll, and my Tourette saw that and took that as a challenge. And I threw him a head flop. The girl next to him did a full body twitch, and everybody saw that, and all hell broke loose. Kids were rolling on the ground. I was in the corner like, why'd they send us here? Our parents were on top of a hill like, oh, they're breakdancing. I'm Samuel J. Conroe. Thank you.
So, now I will talk about the way how to spread awareness about this Tourette's syndrome. Okay, first, we can do a poster, and then we can give it to the medical center, school, university, or we can spread it into our local market or public area, right? So, and then second, we can do a sharing session through radio station, television, and others medium. Third, we can use our media social, such like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, to spread the awareness about Tourette syndrome. Lastly, we can do a talk with our community about this syndrome.
Good day everyone, my name is Dennis Ng, and I will be talking about criticism and discrimination towards Tourette syndrome. And this coming story that I'm about to talk is based on the true story of a man named Brad Cohen, which is a young man diagnosed with the Tourette syndrome who defies the odds to become a teacher. So all this happened, it was when Brad was growing up. Teachers and other adults, even his father, interprets Brad's involuntary sounds and sudden jerking moments as attempts to get attention or simply acting up. He was ridiculed and teased by other kids. As a result, he hated school. Until a principal learned his acting up was a result of Tourette syndrome. So the principal used an all-school assembly to educate the faculty and students, which had a big help for Brad to win their understanding and acceptance towards Tourette syndrome. And this convinced Brad that he should be the teacher he never had. So this continues. As Brad was growing up, Brad had an interview with 24 schools in the Atlanta area that had teachers vacancies, but no one was willing to take a chance on him, despite an impressive college record and glowing recommendations. But he would not give up. On his 25th interview, he was offered a job as a second-grade teacher. Brad's openness about Tourette syndrome, his easygoing manner, and gentle humor quickly won over his young students. In addition to traditional curriculum, the students learned valuable lessons in tolerance and acceptance of differences. At the end of the year, Brad was named the outstanding first-year teacher for the state of Georgia. This story has made into a movie which is named Front of the Class. And if you are willing to understand more about the story, I highly recommend this movie to you. Thank you very much. This ends my presentation.